Welcome to Stories and Rhymes Oh My. I'm Valerie. Thanks for joining me for story time. This week's story time features one of my friends. This is Dusty Dragon. Dusty can breathe fire because he's a dragon, but he doesn't like to do it because you have to be very careful with fire. This time of year, you hear a lot about fire prevention and what you can do to keep yourself and your family safe. So, enjoy our fire songs and rhymes and stories. Our first rhyme is called 5 Little Firefighters. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 little firefighters standing in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Off they go. Up into the engine with a shout. Quicker than a wink, the fire is out. Now, we're going to take one away. 4 little firefighters standing in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4. Off they go, up into the engine with a shout. Quick as a wink, the fire is out. And we lose another firefighter, don't we? Okay, how many we got left? Okay, let's find out. 3 little firefighters standing in a row. 1, 2, 3. Off they go, up into the engine with a shout. Quicker than a wink, the fire is out. So now this firefighter, he is safe. How many we got left? Okay, let's find out. 2 little firefighters standing in a row. 1, 2, off they go, quick as a wink. And with a great shout, the fire is out. And we got another safe firefighter. How many we got left? That's right, 1. 1 little firefighter standing in a row. Off he goes, up into the engine with a quick shout. Quicker than a wink, the fire is out. And all of our firefighters are nice and safe. Okay, so now we have a story. This is a story called The Fire on the Hill. Long, long ago, there was a lake of cold water in Kenya. Many animals came at night to the lake to drink some of the water. But people never came to the lake at night. The animals could kill and eat them up. So a rich man who had a beautiful daughter once said that the young man who would go to the lake in the evening and stay there all night could marry his daughter. Well, this young man wanted to do so badly, and his mother didn't want him to because he knew that he wouldn't survive the night with all of the creatures that live in the lake. Well, he had a very, very smart mama. So when he took off to go to the lake, because he wanted to earn the hand of the lovely princess, she built a big fire up on top of the hill. And he stayed in the lake all night, and the animals didn't eat him. The next day, the king said, "You violated it. I'm sorry. You lit the fire. Therefore, you cannot win the hand of my daughter." So they took it before the judge, and the judge said, "Well, this is a very simple case." So the next day, the young man and his mother and the rich man with all of his servants came before the judge, and there were many people there who wanted to hear that case. The judge asked for a pot of water. Then he walked 40 paces from the pot and made a fire. Now he said, "We shall wait for a little bit while the water warms up." The people cried, "But the fire is too far away to warm it up. It can't warm the water in that pot." Then the judge said, "How could that young man warm himself at a fire 40 paces away?" So the case was over, and the young man married the rich man's daughter, and they lived happily ever after. And that was the story of a fire on a hill. Now, Grant, I know that's not a fire prevention book story, but it's kind of a fun kind of a moral type of a story that deals with fire. All right, so what do we do? What do we do if there is a fire or there's some sort of an emergency? That's right. We're gonna call 911. So here's a little song to help you to remember it. And it goes to the tone, if you're happy and you know it. If you need to call for help, call 911. If you need to call for help, call 911. If you think that you're in trouble and you need help on the double, if you need to call for help, call 911. Let's try it again. If you need to call for help, call 911. If you need to call for help, call 911. If you think that you're in trouble and you need help on the double, then you need to call 911. Very good. Now there's a cute little nursery rhyme. In some ways it's not always so cute, but I think there's a good way of talking about this. Okay, this is called Ladybug, Ladybug, Fly Away Home. And I'm going to do it a little differently. Ladybug, ladybug, fly away home. Your house is on fire and your children are gone. All except one. Her name is Ann, 'cause she hid under a frying pan. Did you know that ladybugs are good fire alarms? They will run away from a place when it starts to burn. Farmers used to recite this chant before burning fields because ladybugs were known to be useful bugs rather than pests. Ladybugs have also become a subject to superstition, specifically for kids. Children used to sing this rhyme when a ladybug would land on them in order to make it fly away, as it believed that if they made a wish and the bug would fly away, their wish would come true. So that's the Ladybug, Ladybug, Fly Away Home. This is a nursery rhyme. Okay, so here's another poem for you. It's called Firefighters. Firefighters wear big red hats. They climb up ladders and they help to rescue cats. Ride on big red trucks with big black tires. Use big hoses to spray fires. Race when they hear fire alarms to keep people safe from harm. And that's Firefighters. Now we have a finger play that all of you can play along with. You're going to need to use all 5 of your fingers. Okay? 5 little firefighters sleeping in a row. Shh. Ding, 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 ding. Ring goes the bell. Down the pole they go. Whee! They jump into the engine and they put out the fire. Shh. Now they're back home, but they are super tired. And that was the 5 little firefighters. Okay, we have another little song, and this is called Never Ever. And it's to remind you of what you shouldn't do. Okay? It's to Are You Sleeping? Never, never play with fire. If you do, you will get in trouble. You will get in trouble. That won't do. That won't do. Never, never play with matches. If you do, you might burn your fingers. You might burn your fingers. That won't do. That won't do. Never, never play with a lighter. If you do, you might burn your clothes. You might burn your clothes. That won't do. That won't do. Never, never play with a candle. If you do, you might burn your house down. You might burn your house down. That won't do. That won't do. Never, never play with fire. If you do, you will get in trouble. You will get in trouble. That won't do. That won't do. And it's just some reminders of things that you need to stay away from that might have fire. Here's another little poem. about 5 little fighters. So you've got 5 brave firefighters riding on the top. Wee-oo, wee-oo, time to stop. Down climbs the firefighters quickly as can be. Now let's count. How many do we see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Uh-oh. 0 brave firefighters riding on the top. Wee-oo, wee-oo, the fire's out. Up climb the firefighters quickly as can be. Now let's count. How many do we see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a fun little rhyme that you guys can work on your counting. And the last thing we're going to talk about is what would happen if your clothes would start on fire. Now, obviously, you don't want somebody to call 911, but there's ways that you can help yourself. So you want to stop, drop down on the floor, and roll with your arms above your head over and over and over to put those flames out. So again, stop, don't run, it will make the fire worse. Drop, get down on the floor, and roll with your arms above your head. Roll over and over and over and over until you put out all of the fires. And this is something that you can practice over and over again. The other thing to remember with fire prevention is that you should make sure that your family always has a place to meet. Know what your exit's going to be to get out of your home, whether it be through a window or whatever your escape plan is. You need to make that plan as a family. Make sure you have fire alarms in all the rooms of your house with current batteries in them, and that way it will cut down on your chances of having any losses within your family. Thank you for spending time with me. This has been a very special story time dealing with fire prevention, and welcome to the next story time, Rhymes or More, in a couple of weeks. Thanks for joining me.